I'm not a genius. I'm not even gifted, really. I mean, I have gifts, but these are things that all come from God and through me. Everything that I'm privy to, so are you. If you get that into your system and get that into your spirit and understand that, we're not separated by anything, not time, nor space, not talent, nor gift, just acknowledgement and understanding where our gifts come from. The music industry is just a microcosm of the world. So whenever you stand for something and you stand for goodness and truth, you will always get resistance, that's period. Whether you're in the pharmaceutical industry, the record industry, or whatever. Whenever you stand for truth and for the service, the service of others. See, I could make money very easily. I could make records that are self-indulgent and, basically self-promote me. Lyrically as an MC, that stuff comes easy. But in order to promote something higher, I feel now, at the ripe old age of 25, that the only thing that I could do is serve others. You understand what I'm saying? And because there are people who have not reached that point in their walk, yes, there's a little anger, there's a little resentment, because you raise a standard, you especially when you do it and you make some noise, and you do it and people actually listen to what you have to say, and like your record is bumping on the radio and you're saying something that holds a mirror up to a lot of the negativity and self-indulgent, so I've been put in this unique position. I have this very unique responsibility that God has made me aware while I still have the mic. I'm telling you, I'm so blessed to have reached this place where, 5 years ago, I was so thin-skinned. Whatever anybody said would just, oh, my God, they don't like this rhyme, and oh, my songs, and and then one day I woke up, and it was like my skin was just, it was so thick, it was impenetrable by those fiery darts. They just had no effect, and I realized that that was a strength and a confidence that only came from a higher source. And, we have to be determined, and you have to know that, for me now, I'm learning that it's more important to be righteous than to be right. I've tried to be right. This is right. This is an injustice. This is a travesty. I'm right. But I've been very unrighteous and still right. Oh my God, because you can attack someone completely right, but it doesn't resolve anything. I live in this physical body. This is like my address, like 22 Eder Terrace. I just gave everybody my address, but that's my address. Fight me, no. But this is where I live, but there's something much deeper. Who I am, has nothing to do with, the hair and the shoes and stuff, even though I like shoes. But, it has nothing to do with that. So I, and what I do, I find there's a lot of power in prayer. So I pray for the people who don't understand me. And I tell you, to be honest with you, I pray more now to be understood. No, excuse me, to understand than to be understood. I pray now to learn how to love than to be loved. Because our enemies are not physical bodies. They're actually our family. They don't know it, and we don't always know it. But our enemies are not, they're not flesh and blood. And our problems are not flesh and blood, even though we think they are. Love is so important. I was always confused about it. I always thought that, the Matrix was battling the enemy out there, picking them out. I'm going to find those enemies, I'm going to get that enemy, until I realized that until you conquer the enemy in yourself, you can't deal with anyone. In order to be used by God, you have to really be used. We always want to be used for the glorious jobs. Let God put me on the stage in front of the people in the Grammy show with a nice dress on. Let me just praise your name. But that's not being used. Sometimes in order to be used, you also have to be humiliated. You have to be humiliated sometimes. You have to be kicked and beaten. And in that situation, the person who's kicking and beating, he's feeling more pain than you are. Love is an incredible thing, and we don't know love like we should. We always talk about, I have unconditional love. Unconditional love we don't even know it, because if a person stops stimulating us, we stop loving them. But that real love, that love that sometimes is difficult, difficult to have. That's that love. Life is peaks and valleys. And some people think some people explain that as good times, bad times, but I actually think it's learning or let's say learning mastership, okay? Or study mastership. So I would just encourage everybody, never be afraid of not knowing. Never be afraid of not knowing. Find out. Because that's how you get, to mastership. Let's not be mediocre in our greatness. You know what I mean? Like, think big. Think big.